But Disneyland, I mean, they do it so well. At the end of the fireworks show, it's magical. It snows. And my brother-in-law, I look at him, he has his little son on his shoulders and he has tears in his eyes. Aww. And he looks over, he's like, Jen, thanks for making this happen for the family. This is like my tough brother-in-law that even felt the magic of that moment.
Well, Jen, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We're so excited to have you on our Guiding You Forward podcast. I feel like you were one of our inaugural episodes years and years ago, and here we are.
One of my greatest honors. Thank you.
You're the host that keeps on giving. We're so excited to talk about all things getaway today.
Thank you. Thank you. Me too. It's fun to talk about. You have to admit, like vacations, there's worse things to talk about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're excited. The 2025 holiday season, it's upon us already.
I know.
And so tell us a little bit about what's going on and what some of the things are that we want to book.
Okay. Well, everyone looks forward to the holidays, I think, more than anything. Like, it's just the most magical time of year.
Yeah.
And it kicks off, and it's like the magic level at an already magical place raises even more. And it's just something that people, again, have so many traditions about. But Disneyland, I mean, they do it so well. First off, the decor. You walk in, you've been during that time, you just look around and you're like, this is absolutely magical.
Yes.
To their entertainment. That's some of everyone's just kind of the traditional things they don't miss. So don't miss the entertainment if you go during the holidays. At the end of the fireworks show, it will absolutely, like, it's magical. It snows. Like, in fact, we went with the whole Dunyon family one year for the holidays. And my brother-in-law, I look at him, he has his little son on his shoulders and he has tears in his eyes. Aww. And he looks over, he's like, Jen, thanks for making this happen for the family. This is like my tough brother-in-law that even felt the magic of that moment.
Yeah.
They play a lot of just traditional Christmas songs. They tie in the holidays so well.
I love that.
The fantasy parade is just, again, one of those things that you see, the reindeer, the toy soldiers, Santa coming down. It's so fun. And then ride overlays too. Haunted Mansion holiday. So you get a little bit of the spooky holiday of the Nightmare Before Christmas. And the gingerbread in the middle of the scene is just always, you can smell it. It's such a thing that everyone's so excited to see what style it is each year. It's a Small World turns into It's a Small World holiday. So you get to see how all of the nations around the world celebrate Christmas and the holidays. And you have jingle bells instead of the typical It's a Small World song. Over in California Adventure too, not to be outdone, they have wonderful decor. They have Cars Land's probably my favorite part of that park for the holidays, just because Cars Land already. Do you like Cars Land? Like,
absolutely.
I'm a fan.
I have two little boys.
Okay.
That's where we go.
I have all daughters, and we start like, something about this Route 66 is just the cutest. But they decorate so cute for the holidays. And then they have Festival of Holidays throughout Disney California Adventure. So on the main thoroughfare, you can try different foods, do different experiences from, again, all over the world that they brought into one place for you to have just a very memorable holiday experience. And you can still ride rides, and you can still buy a churro, and all the traditional things, they don't go away. But you get so much for your money during the holidays because all this extra is also included.
I love that. And if some of our guests are listening in and they're like, okay, we got to make this happen for our family, what are the dates that they can go and experience the holidays at these parks?
Yeah, so they kick off kind of early. It's not just December, November 14th through January 6th. And even if you go the 1st of November, our team's we go each year with our staff, and they kind of trickle in holidays. It's not just like one day it's up. It does have all the holiday decor start right after Halloween time. So it's a pretty long season that people can experience, and that kind of makes it fun. They have longer park hours during this time. We have lots of different hotel specials too, and some theme park deals too with adults at kids prices that can save you some extra money on, again, a time that feels like you should pay more because there's just so much more that you get during this season.
Yeah. And I think it's fun. I know we always think about, let's give, this as a gift for Christmas, but just go now.
Yeah. There's so many ways to do the gift of a vacation.
Yeah.
So many people, it does feel like a lot of people go to Disneyland in particular because they're celebrating something, whether it be a birthday or just a big milestone or giving the family a gift of this memory. So yes, I think going for the holidays is absolutely perfect. But I know we'll talk some about giving the gift of a vacation because I'm all over that too. So both ideas are really great.
Well, let's talk about that,
okay,
right?
That's
Maybe
a good segue.
As we're planning, here we are. The holidays are upon us.
Yes.
Let's maybe go now if you can. But let's say, hey, that's not possible. What are your thoughts on giving this as a gift?
Okay, great question. Because years ago, people were like, I'm going to give the gift of a vacation for my kids.
Yes.
And I'm going to like pack up their suitcases, and Christmas Eve, they're going to wake up and on Christmas Day and we surprise them. We go to Disneyland that day. And a lot of people, might do that.
Yeah.
But I think it's evolved so much into the idea of just the anticipation of a vacation is also so much fun.
Yeah.
So I know both of our families have done this before when our extended families too. And we'll get the gift for the holidays, like get it for Christmas, do something fun. We have lots of ideas on our blog on how you can surprise your family with the vacation, whether it be countdown chains or like opening a glass slipper. And like if the shoe fits, you get to go to Disneyland, but tons of fun things. So you don't lose the magic of Christmas Day, because no one wants to do that, of course. Like
right.
You want to have that experience. But then it's like the celebration continues. You go in January, you go for spring break, you go even summer vacations, like whenever works best for your schedule, but get that kind of extra mileage of giving the vacation, but it could be a vacation you were planning on going anyways, but just making the celebration and the presentation so exciting.
Yeah, well, and I think as my kids age,
Yeah.
right, I'm like, we need to make memories. We only have XYZ number of summers with our little ones or our big ones too.
Yes.
Like, let's make this happen and make the memories together.
I agree. And a lot of times you have a lot of stuff. And so it's like, do you want to have more stuff, or maybe just, again, that memory? And every family, does it differently, but it's so popular and it's so fun to have that gift of a memory. And like I said, I think the anticipation of a vacation, like I have a sister-in-law that does this every year for her kids. And she's like, I think half the fun is just knowing I have a vacation on the books. She goes, it gets me through those winter blues too. Because that's for sure, after Christmas, it's kind of like that letdown. But to know you have a vacation, maybe it's to Disney or a cruise or, Hawaii, Mexico, all the fun destinations, San Diego. It's just something fun to start the year off with.
Yeah. And obviously Disney, if you're going over the holidays, Disneyland, California Adventure can't be beat for that experience.
It's amazing.
Right?
Yeah. And it's awesome. Yes.
But Getaway Today does a lot more than just Disney. So you mentioned cruises. Like, let's talk about that a little bit. Okay. What are some of the different, vacations you can plan and anticipate for maybe 2026 or beyond?
I love that. So let's talk it in a couple twofold. So if you were giving the gift of a vacation, and let's say like you even wanted to do the holidays on a cruise, booking about a year out on a cruise is, especially for holidays, you're going to get like the top pick of everything. You'll get your room selection. Cruises, a lot of people we know go on group cruises. Like they'll do a vacation with their whole extended family. And so sometimes booking early is really essential so you can get all those cabins right together. So I always like to, make sure people know that you can book out even 2 to 3 years on a cruise. Like right now we could book all the way through like end of 2027, which is pretty incredible. Because usually like our theme park vacations, you can book a year out. But why I like cruises. So there's a million reasons. I feel like they're kind of that other experience like the theme park. They feel very all-inclusive that you get there and you're just going to have fun. So I'll talk about like some of my favorite cruise lines. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'll kind of point out like maybe the ones I would recommend.
Yeah.
Especially if like giving the gift. Royal Caribbean has been a favorite for our guests, just especially this year. They have so many new ships. And with that, just so much more inventory. There are 2 mega ships, the Star and Icon. Sometimes people think, they're so big, they're so new, they're too expensive. But because they're so big, we found some really great deals. And so let us find you some deals. If you want and have a goal of maybe going on one of those ships, like, let's do it. Like, they're really awesome and they're so much fun. They are ships that you can see like an ice skating show and a diving show and a Broadway show. Like their newest ship had Back to the Future, the musical.
Yeah.
It's so cute. Like it was so fun. Like, and then the other ship again has Wizard of Oz, like full out Broadway plays. The entertainment's incredible. The food's incredible. The activities are incredible. It's funny when you go on a cruise like that, people will be like, where are you going? I'm like, on the ship. Like, that's right. I should see my stops because I'm just excited to be on this ship. It's like really amazing. So much included. Their Oasis class ships also are phenomenal. So any of those bigger ships, I love them, hands down. You would never go wrong with those. On the West Coast, we don't always get those biggest ships, and that's okay. Because I feel like if you haven't cruised before, you're going to just love the experience of having everything included, like having all your food right there. Like when kids have never been on a cruise, and something like your kids that are that age, 6 to 11, they have unlimited food, and you as a mom don't have to be like, oh man, I have to feed him like in 5 minutes. Like you have pizza at the ready. You've got gourmet salads. You've got wonderful ice cream. You've got anything you could desire, you've got just at your fingertips, which is so cool and so unique. And so I feel like that's just such a fun part of the trip. So Royal Caribbean has a lot of options off the West Coast if guests want to stay a little closer to home. Love them. They're great for families. They're great for couples. Carnivals, sometimes people get a little nervous, like, oh, and I think that's only because they're the oldest cruise line.
Sure.
And so they have some of the older ships. And so I would never steer you towards the older ships, nor would our team. And we really like their newest ships. And giving the gift of a vacation, that's been a tradition of some of our family members. We'll do trips with the adult kids and their spouses every other year, and we usually do one of the Carnival ships. It's usually the newest ship. We did the Celebration this year, I guess. It's already, I guess we're still in 2025.
Yeah, we are.
I'm planning ahead for 29 or something, but loved the ship. They have really good food. Things like their fan favorites, like Guy Ferrar's Burger Bar. They've got taco bars. They've got, can you tell I like to eat? I'm like, all these things.
Absolutely. We all
give
do.
you all the food things, but they've got really great activities, fun pool areas, they're just kind of what you picture a cruise. Like they'll have the ice sculptures, you'll have the formal nights, like just the kind of the traditional cruise things you envision. And they price really well, and they have a lot of options off the West Coast, which is nice for guests that just want to try a cruise. And with them, I would just say try to go a week long. I feel like their shorter cruises are more, I just don't think they give as nice of ships. And so we can kind of help you again with those details.
Okay.
And
so
then,
if I've got questions.
Yes. Okay.
Right. Saying, okay, we haven't cruised before, or I'm wanting to go on a cruise. I want the icon of the seas or the star. We just call you.
Absolutely. Our team's been on these ships. We have just, between all of us, we've almost experienced most of the ships you'd want to go on. We have tons of recommendations. We can help you find your cabin spot. I do love our website, though, that you can choose, do your initial homework, because it's so cool. We have all the different cruise lines on our website. So if you want to go January of 2027, and you want to kind of go this break, so you want to go over Martin Luther King Day.
Right.
We can you'll see which cruise lines. You can mark the 3. So the last one I do need to explain is Disney, because Disney, I kind of left that as a grand finale because they do cruises. They have less ships. So you do want to book early with Disney, although they just did some random great crazy sale. Cruising, I would say, is trending down a little bit because they've come off of 2 revenge travel years. So if cruising was too expensive last year, let's try again this year, because their pricing, I think it's been at least 10 to 20% down, which is fun because I like guests to get a good deal and good value. But sometimes, when they've been closed for a while and they're back and just so popular, but I think it's balanced out. And so, but going back to Disney, and why I mentioned that price is always kind of a concern because they are a more premium cruise line.
Right.
But we've seen some great deals, and they have new ships coming out. And in the next 5 years, they have so many new ships coming out. So I feel like the same thing, if you've thought of a Disney cruise and thought, oh, it's a little out of our price range, let's try again, because there is more inventory now, and they have just beautiful new ships. In fact, next week I'm going on the new ship, the Destiny, and I'm so excited. So it'll be fun to see all of their ships. They're just absolutely beautiful, and they all tell just such a fun story in the Disney story. So those are, of course, one of our best sellers because we're so known for Disney. That and that's our team's job, is kind of let us know what you're looking at, what your budget is, and we'll make sure you get the most bang for your buck.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit more about as you give this gift.
Yes.
Right? And we've met with your team. We know the time of year we're going. We've found that best deal for maybe our Disney cruise. Yeah. What does that look like to book it that far in advance? Oh,
it's the best, because usually you only pay a deposit and you have all this time to pay for it. That's one option. So for our Disneyland, you can use our layaway plans. You put a $200 deposit down. You can make payments all the way up until when you travel. So we have guests that plan for next year's holidays, and then they pay off 9 days before, and they're, they've got it all paid off. Of course, they use their Mountain America credit card, and they are ready to go. And same with cruises. You have really flexible payment plans. They're usually due in full about 3 months prior to travel. In Orlando, kind of the same thing as how Disneyland works. And so you don't have to pay in full at the moment. And most guests during the holidays don't really want to do that. They want to just put a deposit down, and we can absolutely work with that.
Yeah, I love that. And there's nothing better than going on a vacation that's already been paid for.
Yes,
right?
yes.
We've planned in advance. We've made our payments,
that's
and
our goal.
We're here and we're enjoying it because it's already been paid for. So obviously we're partial to that too.
Absolutely.
So that's amazing. So in addition to cruises, right, if I want to book in advance, there's a whole lot more destinations than Disneyland and cruises. What else?
Absolutely. So with cruises, a lot of people like to do Orlando, either pre or post, or just do Orlando as a vacation. It's the top destination this year for travel. And there's just so much to see there. One of the things that brought the popularity, especially to Orlando this year, is Universal's new Epic Universe. And did you see my smile get a little bigger?
Yes, absolutely.
It's over the top. It is amazing. It kind of just shows what the future of theme parks are going to be. It's so technologically advanced. and it tells so many stories. And it's like the Isle of Burke, there's just, you're like, this is unbelievable. Like I rode all the attractions, went to all the shows, but you also could have just observed it because it's so beautiful. So
yeah, and for people that aren't familiar with the Isle of Burke, remind me what it's from.
From How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
but
yeah. No, and I wasn't even as familiar with that franchise, honestly. Like, I have daughters, like we kind of watched The Dragon, but people love that movie and they love the storyline. And I did too. Like seeing they had like this amazing entertainment, this show, the sit down theater show that was so good. And of course, Harry Potter is a huge brand. And they pretty much built Paris there. And so from the, like right when you walk in, you're like, this is unbelievable. And they have the show that has all the amazing beasts. I'm saying the wrong name probably, but I mean, it's incredible. Like the technology is so wow. And we ate at like the little Paris cafe. I'm like, we're in Paris. Like the food is so good. They've really, and the villains, the area, just, it's incredible. Like they have this, where Frankenstein's like his home is. And then right next to it is this windmill that will like fire up every like half hour or so. And it's like this restaurant bar area that the story, I guess it's this like kind of back with the Frankenstein and the villains and like this deep history. So some people know every single detail about it. But me just as a person observing, I'm like, you can't experience things like this. Like it's just, they've really brought so many cool new stories. In Super Nintendo World, we did have that first on the West Coast, which is cool for Universal Studios Hollywood. They have that there. They've got this celestial park in the middle that you're like, this is just so fun. So I'm really impressed with Universal. And they have so many awesome resort hotels that you can stay at that you feel just really a part of everything, which is nice. So that's been a hot destination for us this year. And I know it will be next year. So that is one that if you're looking to go, I highly recommend. It's a lot of fun. And there's lots of pockets of time that are like when kids are in school, kind of think, okay, if I go and can take my kids out for a minute, like in May, September, I think there's like, it's not that busy, which is so fun. And they have a lot of ways to kind of eliminate crowds with some of the tickets and staying at deluxe hotels. And like, we can help you with that. And that kind of makes you feel like you're just such a VIP too, which is fun. Walt Disney World, I mean, it's a world. It's amazing. They have so many things happening. They're always improving. They're always adding new things everywhere. Like even where you stay, the resorts are beautiful. We have so many different package options. They have free dining for kids next year, which is incredible. They've never offered that I've seen. So I'm like, that's for like the whole year is a commitment that they're doing. So that's exciting for our packages. And they have so many good restaurants, so many things to see. But you can there, of course, ride Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the longest indoor roller coasters. You've got Tron, that's an outdoor roller coaster that's so fun. You've got so many other experiences that like Animal Kingdom has so many fun things to just like the Pandora and all the fun. Like you can spend a week there easily and just hop from magic to magic. It's really fun.
Well, and for for your guests that are used to, hey, we're going to go to Disneyland, experience the two parks. Yeah. But if we're taking the time to go to Orlando or Disney World, plan some extra days, right?
For sure. And stay at a resort that, like, if you don't go often, like, if you stay at one of the Disney properties, they have so much to offer. They're their own story. So I don't mind spending a day just at the resort, too, because they have such fun themed pool areas. You're in Florida, which is, fun to be outdoors and at the pool. We have great off-property hotels, too, that just give such good specials. So it's not necessarily more expensive than Disneyland. I'd say it's very comparable in price. So it's more so just watching for some of those airfare pricing. And when you see a good deal, like, we'll help you with that hotel stay and tickets, and you'll love it.
Well, and that's the amazing thing, right? It's one thing to buy your Disneyland or Disney World tickets through Getaway Today, but the information and education your team has about hotels as well and when to go.
That's our secret weapon.
Yeah,
I would say. And in World, we do have even an extra level of service where a lot of people they haven't been there, so much to know. Like probably 5 or 6 years ago, I had talked to a family going to Orlando on the airplane, and they were just saying all these things, and my heart was just sinking. So I'm like, they've done no pre-planning. Like, they're going to have a terrible experience. I'm like, who did you book with? And they're like, oh, we just did it all online. I'm like, you have no idea what's in front of you. Like, they hadn't done anything in advance. And so there's just some pre-planning tips. Really at Disneyland now too, that you just need to know to make sure that because you invest a lot in this vacation, you just really want it to go right. And our team, they care. They want to make sure your vacation, that you're the hero, that you did a great job for your family. And there's just little things you can do to make your vacation so much better.
Yeah. And I love that. Your website.
Oh, thank you.
Is just a huge resource and vault of all of these tips and tricks. That's so fun.
I agree. And they can always talk to our team too. And it's fun. I get to, we're a smaller office, so we get to hear everybody's conversation
Yeah.
and just the excitement. I really feel like our team takes ownership in your vacation. So it's
love
fun
that.
to have a friend that you're planning with.
What is the best way? Obviously, you have your website. People can go and pre-plan. What's the best way to get a hold of a team member if someone has questions and they want to
easily.
reach out?
So our website, we now have a chat feature, and even on DM, like on Instagram, you DM us, it's a person that's just answering that question for you. Facebook, same thing.
Yeah.
And the 855-GETAWAY is our phone number. You can call in anytime, and our team just is ready to help.
I love that.
And cruising too, like I said, it's nice to look at all the options on our website, but we have our own cruise team as well that I think it's kind of nice to talk with a cruise person if you're booking a cruise. So that would be my recommendation. Disneyland, you really can quite easily plan it on our website and then talk with our team if needed, but you'll have all the tips and tricks with, the email follow-up and everything. And World, usually guests talk with our guests, our agents as well. And Hawaii, Mexico, most people call in for those destinations also.
Okay, that's awesome. And that's one thing, right? It's not just Disneyland. It's not just Disney World. If you want to go to Hawaii and take your family, call in.
Yes. And you could, of course, book it on our website. I just feel like those destinations, it's kind of fun to chat and get someone's recommendation. And I like the personal touch still, but either way, you're great. Yeah.
Awesome.
But Hawaii is a 10. Like that, I would choose that over Mexico always, just because I feel like it's Hawaii. And if it's usually a bucket list for people, but we do offer a lot of great all-inclusives in Mexico also.
Wonderful. So back to Disneyland and the holiday season. There's more going on, right, with Disney than just holidays.
Yes, it is the 70th anniversary. Like, what an accomplishment, right?
Yeah,
70
absolutely.
years. And that just makes the year even more magical. One of my favorite parts is just the extra layer of just like entertainment. They've got merchandising, as well as you get to see Walt and their animatronic and just kind of tell his story. That's been super popular. And again, like I said, it's just fun to layer all the celebrations and feel like you get so much bang for your buck.
Yeah. So Disney's 70th is already in full swing. And about how long does it go?
Okay, Disney knows how to throw a party. They don't just throw it for like a day. They need an 18-month celebration. So it kicked off the first of this year, goes all the way through summer of 2026. So there's lots of time to see this amazing celebration.
Love it. But Disney's not the only one that does holidays, right?
It's true. Yes. In fact, going back to that, get the most bang for your buck, all of the theme parks do the most at the holidays. They have their own set of entertainment. The decor is magical. They all want you to feel just right at home and feel that holiday magic. I really love Universal Studio Hollywood for the holiday celebration because they bring in the Grinch, and I don't think he's hilarious. And they have a whole Whoville, and he just razzes people, and you feel like you just walk around like you're a part of the story. It's funny. Like, it's fun to watch. He has his own little thing going all the time. We just laugh and we're like, watch people react to him, and it's really fun. But you feel so magic. Like, their story is fantastic. Legoland's really cute during the holidays. That's another one of our kind of most favorites. That they have their celebration, their decor, but they also just decorate. It's so cute with all the Legos. But whether it's SeaWorld, whether you're going to the zoo, everywhere just has an extra step of magic during the holidays.
Okay, so if we want to create that magic for our family this holiday season, there's so many options.
Yeah, and it's not too late. Like, you could truly book. It hasn't been sold out this year. Like, it really is a good year to get those last minute specials.
Well, Jen, thank you so much for telling us all about the holidays and how to travel and give the gift of travel and make those memories with our families.
Oh, of course. Well, we love Mountain American members. We love being a part of their vacation memories and just helping it to be just a little bit more affordable and all the most magical.
Yeah. So just again, remind us, if we want to book with Getaway Today, what do we do?
Okay, our website is getawaytoday.com, or you can always call us 855-GETAWAY. And we're on social, like Instagram and Facebook, at Getaway Today. You can even DM us, and we'll just help you there as well.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. We're so excited for the holiday season. Let's go on that trip tomorrow together. It'll be so much fun.
I'm ready.
Yes. And thanks to all of you for joining as well. And we will see you on the next episode of Guiding You Forward.